Okay, now we got you on a higher quality, highest quality. And, then we're gonna lean you on the window, and I'm wedging you up with the with this bottle, round bottle of what you call it, the maple syrup. So you and maple syrup, and I'm out of here. And enjoy the show. Seeing people's reactions to it because there are people like Phil that write books and do if you look at this guy. Has Phil Scalzo been here? Yeah. Behind the enzymes, this book. He's done by Bradley Garrett. He's out of Australia. He came over here and went through all the bunkers, 5 of those everywhere. He went through. There's a section in here where he talks about the survival conduct. And he said, all of his experience of going through all these bunkers, I'm paraphrasing what he wrote here, he said, the one bunker that I thought was going to far be overhyped was the survival conduct. And it was the only one that undersold what it offered. I would agree. We've been in so many magazines and TV. We got 60 Minutes twice, and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. 2020 ABC Nightline, Fox and Friends, Fox News, Fox Business. We've been on everything. It's like, I slept really well tonight. Reading news and that's posting this lot and then the return of red after it's open and then the next issue of the same lot closed and so you know what go ahead. That one door. Yeah, there's no one about the pedestrian. You see it there. Oh wow, still daylight outside. We had some awesome sunsets there. Wow, this worked out perfect to come out at this time, you know it. It is a beautiful day. And that's a beautiful bunker. Yeah, it's standing the test of time. Here's an interesting tidbit for your viewers. Is our structural engineers have calculated the water and all the deteriorating environmental effects on the structure of this bunker, and estimated it will last over 1,000 years. That's our sniper post that you get to from the Pet Park area. So you go the way in, but once you take the high ground, as you can tell, you can see a long way from up here. And can you access that from inside the bunker? It's the only place you can. Oh, really? I was going to say. And those are shooting ports. And you got your own wind turbine. Class 4 wind area, 67 3-megawatt wind turbines here. What an incredible view. Larry, thank you for letting us see your bunker, buddy. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'm just going to have a good quality competitor come out and share some ideas. Thank you, sir. I enjoyed seeing your survival conduct. Welcome. Have a good evening. Have a safe trip. Well, that was fun. That's the nicest bunker I've ever seen. I'm going to head back to Kansas City. Now, Wichita is actually a little bit closer. Kansas City's 3 hours. Wichita's like 2 hours. Just want to drive out here and see this.
Trump intends to enact a national sales tax that would raise prices on middle-class families.
World-class sport is trusted by pros and proven by champions.
because whenever I do, I always also rebuild and replace many components that are just not quite good enough, especially when we're preparing for something like SEMA. Although I guess if this was true SEMA fashion, I'd be doing this like 3 days before we had to be at SEMA or something. Slobbered in my face. Yes. Would you just back up a little bit? You're not in between here. I can still give you pets. Reassembling the chain texture, I realized I hadn't painted this part. If it was aluminum or something, just leave it like steel, so it will rust. When I was ordering this new clutch cable, I ordered a little bit of bling for the chopper. I got this new shift lever, because the other one was all crusty and had holes drilled in it where I'd done stuff for the previous thing this was in. You know, plus a little bit of warranty. Anyway, this was only a couple bucks, so I also got a nice little top of orange for this magneto cover. Very nice, huh? The moment of revealing. Do the colors look good together? The answer is
That's nice.
yes. Very nice. I'm gonna have to repaint these because they are considerably less green of a color. It looks great together, but also the
Still having fun.
level of gloss is different. Like this is a matte and this is
Yep,
black.
yep.
But chef's kiss. That looks nice. I'm really surprised and pleased.
So, I mean, that'd be a lot of activity,
This gunmetal and
more than usual.
green. It's not a color combo I would ever have thought of.
From what I can
if I
remember,
didn't
I
have these
mean,
wheels on it when I was building.
I don't normally just sit here and watch this thing. But, I mean, it's the opposite of last night. Last night was record long. This seems to be a series of record short, rapid succession. So, but it's obviously an action. There is an action occurring right there. To do such and such, and I suspect it'll stop going off, huh? Or I mean, it'll stop going on, and then it won't be nearly as much fun. And then, worse yet, it might just get run over. That wouldn't be very cool. So you could enjoy the fun for now.
The setup came with everything that the key applies to.
With the light, I guess,
the gas cap
as long as that's
and the helmet
still doing. That's a good one though. That's a lot of action there. That's hey.
And yeah, you can like send it in and get it reprogrammed and stuff.
I'll call this one, title this one Strobe.
I'm gonna have to do a little bit of changing.
And one against epileptic seizure.
Painted the frame, but it didn't come in time. So now I have to try and figure out a place to mount this key where it's relatively inconspicuous and also can be bolted onto an existing location of some sort. It seems to.
I do want to see the. Lex Friedman, Magnus Carlsen. Lex Friedman and the fuck? Lex Friedman and Magnus Carlsen.
Abortion decisions in Pennsylvania are between women and their doctors. McCormick said he was fully against abortion.
I'll stand tall on pro-life policies. I believe life begins at conception.
Without any exceptions for rape or incest. We have to stop David McCormick.
Of course, they win most of the time.
But that's generally for championships or in general?
Yeah, for championships. Like they generally win because the other slightly weaker team, they're good enough to defend, to make it very, very difficult for the others, but when they actually have to create the chances, then they have no chance. And then it very often ends with a blowout, as it did in our match. If I hadn't won game 6, it probably would have been very, very close. He might have edged it. There's obviously a bigger chance that I would have edged it. But this is just what happens a lot in chess, but also in football, that matches are close and then
somebody scores,
but then things change. And this gives people the illusion that the matchup was very close.
Yeah.
Which, well, actually it just means that the nature of the game makes the matches close very often, but it's always much more likely that one of the teams is gonna, or one of the players is gonna break away than the others. And in other matches as well, even though a lot of people, before the match in 2016 against Karyakin, there were people who thought before the match that I was massively overrated as a favorite, and that essentially the match was pretty close, like whatever, 60-40, or some people even say like 55-45. And what I felt was that the match went very, very wrong for me, and I still won. And some people saw that as an indication that the pre-match probabilities were probably a bit closer than people thought. Well, I would look at it in the way that everything went wrong. I still won, which probably means that I was pretty big favorite to begin with.
I do have a question to you about that match, but first, so Sergei Karyakin was originally a qualifier for the candidate tournament, but was disqualified for breaching the FIDE Code of Ethics after publicly expressing approval for the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. When you look at the Cold War, some of the U.S. versus Russian games of the past, does politics, does some of this politics ever creep its way into the game? Do you feel the pressure, the immensity of that, as it does sometimes with the Olympics, you know, these big nations playing each other, competing against each other, almost like fighting out in a friendly way, the battles, the tensions that they have in the space of geopolitics?
Yeah, I think it still does. So the president of the World Chess Federation, who was just re-elected, is a Russian. Like, I like him personally, for sure, but he is quite connected to the Kremlin, like, and it's quite clear that the Kremlin considers it at least a semi-important goal to bring the chess crown home to Russia. So it's still definitely a factor. And I mean, I can answer for in the Karyakin case, like, I don't have a strong opinion on whether he should have been banned or not. Obviously, I don't agree with anything that he says, but in principle, I think that you should ban either no Russians or all Russians. I'm generally not particularly against either, but I don't love banning wrong opinions, even if they are as reprehensible as his have been.
Yeah, there's something about the World Chess Championships or the Olympics where it feels like banning is counterproductive to the alleviating some of the conflicts.
We don't know. This is the thing, though.
Yeah.
We really don't know about the long-term
Yeah.
conflicts, and a lot of people try to do the right thing in this sense, which I don't really blame at all. It's just that we don't know, and I guess sometimes there are other ways you want to try and help as well.
You see, like within the competition, within some of those battles of US versus Russia or so on of the past, there's also between the individuals.
Still doing the dance,
maybe you
yeah.
disagree with this, but from a spectator
Right on.
perspective, there's still a camaraderie. Like at the
So,
end of
I
the
mean,
day, there's a thing
That's
that
like the
unites
opposite
you,
of what we did,
which
like
is
we
this,
said.
like,
It was the other one was
appreciation of
20
the fight
minutes
over the chessboard.
of hold
uh,
time, and
You
now
guys
this
hate
one,
each other.
Yeah,
like a
for
20-minute
sure.
video of, and then we'll get to count how many
You would briefly
blinks.
discuss the game.
That
with
should be
your
a different-
opponent after the game, no matter how much you hate.
different thing,
And
huh?
I think that's lovely.
So really unpredictable,
As
wouldn't you
he
say?
was quoted, like, when
Because
somebody
it's,
asked him,
well,
like,
about
why
the same
were
time
you
as
Karpov
last
after the
night.
game?
Right now, it's
You hate that
around
guy.
the same time as
Yeah,
it was.
He's the only one who understands.
Yeah,
And,
no one understands.
Very
So
last
that's,
video.
no, I think that's really
Yes.
lovely. I would love to
The
see
20-minute hold.
in other areas as well, that you can, regardless of what happens, you can have good chat about the game. You can just talk about the ideas with people who understand what you understand.
So, if you're not playing the World Championships, there's a lot of people who are saying that perhaps the World Championships don't matter anymore. Do you think there's some truth to that?
I said that back a long time ago as well, that for me, I don't know if it never happened, so I don't know what would have happened, but I was thinking, like, the moment that I realized that I'm not the best player in the world, like, I felt like morally I have to renounce the World Championship title, you know? Because it doesn't mean anything, as long as you're not the best player.
So the ratings really had a bigger, clearer story.
I think so, at least over time. Like, I'm a lot more proud of my streak of being rated number 1 in the world, which is now since, I think, the summer of 2011. I'm a lot more proud of that than the World Championships.
How much anxiety or even fear do you have before making a difficult decision on the chessboard? So it's a high stakes game. How nervous do you get? How much anxiety do you have and all that calculations? You're sitting there for 10, 15 minutes because you're in a fog. There's always a possibility of a blunder, of a mistake. Are you anxious about it? Are you afraid of it?
Really depends. I have been at times. I think the most nervous I've ever been was game 10 of the World Championships in 2018. That was just a thrilling game. I was black. I basically abandoned the queen side at some point to attack him on the king side, and I knew that my attack, if it doesn't work, I'm going to lose. But I had so much adrenaline, so that was fine. I thought I was going to win. Then at some point I realized that it's not so fair, and then my time was ticking, and I was just getting so nervous. I still remember what happened. Like, we played this time travel phase where he had very little time, but I had even less. And I can't remember much of it, just that when it was over, I was just so relieved because then it was clear that the position was probably gonna be out in a draw. Otherwise, I'm often nervous before games, but when I get there, it's all business. And especially when I'm playing well, I'm never afraid of losing when I play, because I trust my instincts, I trust my skills.
How much psychological intimidation is there from you to the other person, from the other person to you?
I think people would play.
Alright, so we're at 20 minutes overall and one more. So right now, 21. Alright, wow. So then we'll count up. I know the other video was actually like 22 minutes or something, right? Because
That's an interesting question. You know, like
it's a minute or two on either side.
Eat McDonald's or Burger King or Diet Coke versus.
So here we are at 21 and
People
change.
be able to tell
So
they're playing you.
very
and
comfortable.
playing from the style of
And so
play,
then we'll
do you
get to
think?
see.
Or from the strength
I'm
of play.
curious.
If there was a decent sample size, sure.
A lot of activity. Huh. Alright. Let me see.
Others